everybody! It's time for the end of the Mt.BigFoot Trilogy with Mt.BigFoot 3, Final Peak. Happy Valentine's Day, everybody! And let's start the ending of the trilogy. Henry Cutburn inherited a two-story cozy cabin from his grandfather, but what he didn't know was that the Sasquatch was terrorizing the land, and so his girlfriend was then kidnapped by the Sasquatch. October 2nd, 2025, Boring, Oregon, courtroom. Henry Cutburn is being tried for the disappearance of his girlfriend Maria. This case has been happening for over 2 to 3 years because the police can never find Maria. Henry James Cutburn, you are being tried for the disappearance of Maria Davis. How do you plead? Said Judge George. Not guilty, Your Honor, replied Henry. Now, sir, you say the night Maria went missing, you said that Bigfoot took her? Why on earth's Bigfoot? That's the most stupid thing I have ever heard. Your Honor, I saw a Bigfoot that night. We were running away from him, and Maria tripped. Then he picked her up and ran into the abyss. After what Henry just said, 2 men walked into the courtroom. Excuse me, who are you 2 walking through my courtroom? Asked Judge George. I am Joshua Berman, and this is my friend Jake Potter. Together we are Henry's lawyers. And I wrote the nonfiction memoir, My Encounter with a Yeti, Joshua said. Wait, you're Joshua Berman? Like a famous celebrity for having a face-to-face fight with a Yeti? Asked Judge George. Yes, I am. And we are here to back up Henry and help him find Maria. I'm also backing him up because before Bigfoot took Maria, the 2 called me about Sasquatches around their cabin. Well, if you find Maria, I will pardon Henry. But if you don't, you get life in federal prison, said Judge George. We will find her, Your Honor. After the case, Joshua, Jake, and Henry hopped into the RV and headed to Henry's cabin, aka the scene of the crime. When they arrived, they noticed something. Bigfoot's footprints from when he took Maria were still there. How are the footprints still here? Asked Henry. Probably because the driveway's hard concrete, and you are on a mountain where the wind is weak, replied Jake. Look over there. The footprints lead to a gap in the tree line. Let's take the RV and follow the footprints, said Joshua. The 3 hopped into the RV and started following the trail. The trail led to a highway, but they saw that Bigfoot had walked on the side of the road, so they followed that trail. Are you insane? 3 years ago when you called me, I specifically told you to leave the cabin during the day, not at night, and to lock the doors. What is wrong with you? Asked Joshua angrily. Look, that night we were sleeping when we heard a crash downstairs. When we went down there, we saw that Bigfoot threw a small boulder through our window. So we unlocked the doors and ran to the car and saw that Bigfoot threw a branch in it. So we couldn't leave. So we ran until Maria tripped on a rock and then Bigfoot picked her up, replied Henry. So when you hung up, you said that you had a kid? What is his name? Asked Henry. His name's Jake. I named him after Jake a few years ago. Well, a few years after he fell into a coma, replied Joshua. You named your kid after me? I knew you would do something in honor of me, or in honor for me, said Jake. The trail led to Stony Dakota Nation, where their next spot would be to search for clues. When they arrived, Joshua had anxiety from what happened many years ago. They decided to explore the side of the camp Jake and Joshua stayed at, where they saw something horrifying. What is that? Is that a skull? Asked Jake. Yes, human female, to be exact, replied Joshua. Did you say human female? Asked Henry. Yeah, why? That made Henry scared and sad, because he thinks that the skull was Maria's. They then searched in the Yeti's cave and saw more footprints leading into the forest. The forest was too small to fit the RV, so they decided to go get a tent, some food, and some sleeping bags in case it gets dark. The three then started their hike, following the trail. Jake had a walkie-talkie in case they needed to contact for help. Henry started singing 99 bottles of beer on the wall. They walked for 2 hours until it reached dark. They found a small open area by the path where they could set up camp. They set up their tents and they set up their tents and started a campfire to cook dinner. Once they finished eating, Joshua threw dirt and water on the fire to put it out, so that Bigfoot doesn't see that they are on his trail. Then they got into the tent and started sleeping. They were sleeping peacefully until Jake woke up to footsteps outside and quickly woke the other two and told them to be quiet. Joshua shut off his flashlight and saw what was outside. They saw the shadow of a Sasquatch outside their tent. Then the Sasquatch walked away. They knew that they had to get moving. They've been walking for 6 hours when they saw another mountain. This mountain was different, though. This one was not a plateau, but this one was a peak. Joshua pulled out his phone to see where they were, because his phone had some signal, and saw that they were next to a mountain 37 miles away from Mount St. Helens, and 116 miles away from Boring, and 623 miles from Stony Dakota Nation. Joshua told the others where they were, and they were shocked. Wait, we walked 623 miles from Stony Dakota Nation to here? Said both Jake and Henry. Yeah, well, it is what my phone says at least. It could be wrong, replied Joshua. As Henry and Joshua were talking, Jake saw footsteps leading into a cave in the mountain. Hey guys, there is a trail of footsteps leading into the mountain. I think we should go follow it. Joshua and Henry agreed, and then the three headed into the cave. Where they were inside, they saw that the cave was lit and not dark because there were torches on the walls. After walking for 30 minutes, they entered a large open area where they saw her. They saw Maria, weak but alive, chained to the floor. She was as thin as a small stick. Maria, it's me, Henry. I missed you. What did Bigfoot do to you? Henry said, tearing up. Henry, I missed you too. It has been so long. How long has it been? Asked Maria weakly. It's been 3 years since Bigfoot took you. I tried to get the police to try and find you, but they arrested me, thinking that I kidnapped you. The trial has been happening for 3 years until Joshua and his friend Jake backed me up. It's been 3 years. Wow. Bigfoot and his friend tortured me, and I was only fed once a day. And my food is whatever's left from his meals, so only scraps. Wait, you said he had a friend? What did his friend look like? Asked Joshua. His friend was white, about 10 feet tall, and was aggressive towards me whenever I asked for food. Hey, Henry, me and Jake need to talk to you. Okay, what do you need to talk about? we want to talk about what Maria described. Okay, so what did she describe? She described a Yeti. This means that rescuing her will be a lot harder than you think. This also means that Bigfoot and the Yeti are working together. After Joshua said that, they saw gasoline barrels, most likely to keep the torches lit. Shortly after, they heard footsteps, and they decided to hide by a boulder. Then they saw Bigfoot and the Yeti walk into the cave. When Joshua saw the Yeti, he was shocked, and mouthed to Henry and Jake, "That's the Yeti that attacked us during our camping trip 12 years ago. I thought I killed it, but I guess not." The two Sasquatches heard that and moved to the boulder and saw the three right there. They knew what they had to do. They ran as fast as they could. Henry ran to Maria and shot the chains with the gun Jake gave him before they entered the cave. Joshua and Jake used the rifles to try shooting at the Sasquatches, but they were filled with tranquilizing darts. So after 3 shots, they hit the 2 Sasquatches, but they went to sleep instead of dying. "Hey guys, I got Maria. Let's leave the cave. Here's your gun back, Jake. It only has like 1 bullet in it." "What's with the worried faces?" Henry asked. "Our guns were filled with tranquilizing darts, so the Sasquatches are asleep and not dead. Now, once we leave, more people are going to be captured by Bigfoot, and we don't know what to do," said Joshua when worried. "You guys run out the cave. Take this walkie-talkie and let me know when you're outside. I want to blow up the mountain. Yes, it will kill me, but it will also kill the Sasquatches," said Jake. "No, Jake, don't do this. You're my best friend. I lost you once, and I won't lose you again. Let me do it. You lost 7 years of your life. I don't want you to lose your life," said Joshua, refusing to let Jake sacrifice himself. "Joshua, you have a wife and a kid. I have nothing. Let me do this. I will always be with you in your heart. Okay, but I will miss you, though. You are the bestest best friend a man like me could ever have. Thank you, Joshua. Before you go, say hi to Jake for me." Joshua, Henry, and Maria ran out of the cave. The Sasquatches started to wake up when Joshua gave the signal to Jake. "Hasta la vista, Sasquatches," said Jake, right as he pulled the trigger. When the bullet hit the gas tanks, a massive explosion occurred, killing Jake and the Sasquatches, but also destroying the mountain. When the mountain blew up, Joshua started crying, because he just lost his best friend forever this time. Joshua, Henry, and Maria walked to a branch. Joshua got some tape from his pocket and made a cross with the branch, and placed the branch into the rubble of the mountain, standing up, letting people know that this is Jake's grave. Joshua and the others walked back to Stony Dakota Nation and hopped into the RV and started the drive back to Boring. 2 days after they arrived in Boring was Henry's last court case. "Henry, due to you and Joshua Berman finding Maria, you have been proven not guilty and all charges against you have been dropped. Case officially dismissed," said Judge George. "Thank you, Your Honor," said Henry. "Oh, and Henry, here's a letter of codes you can decipher," said Judge George, with a grin on his face. At the cabin, when Henry and Maria settled down, Henry opened the note and it read, "Denise, sit, nice, sorry, you will, old." Henry and Maria didn't know what it meant, but it must have meant something horrifying. Joshua, still grieving about what happened, also got the same mysterious note and doesn't know what it means either. Joshua called Henry, not Jake, and found out that he also has the same note. Note. They spent several days deciphering this code and finally know what it says, but they are not sure what it means. That was Mt.BigFoot 3. And this is officially the end of the Mt.BigFoot Trilogy. Hope you liked and subscribe. Hit that bell for more notifications. Now, by the way, do you really think it's the end?